Good morning. It is Monday, September the 19th, exactly 11:50. This morning we're going to be reading from the book of Hebrews. We'll be reading Hebrews 11. It has 40 verses, 935 words. Hebrews 11 talks about faith is defined and illustrated through the lives of Old Testament heroes. And we will find out who those heroes are as we read along. Verse 1 all the way to verse 40 are all orange for your faith. So this particular chapter deals strictly with your faith, and we will understand what that means as we read along. Verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Verse 2. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Verse 3. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. So the science version of the how the earth was made is fabricated. This is the true story of how the earth was made. Okay, through faith we understand that the worlds were formed by the word of God. By the word of God was the world formed, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Verse 4. By faith, our first hero is Abram. By faith Abram offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, God testifying of his gift, and by it he, being dead, yet speaketh from his grave. Okay? 5. By faith Enoch, another hero, was translated that he shall not see death, and was not found, because God had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased God. Okay, that's our second hero, Abram and Enoch. 6. But without faith it is impossible to please God, to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. 7. Our third hero. By faith Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark, to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world, and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. That is our third hero. Abram, Enoch, Noah. We have more. Okay, 8. By faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he shall after receive for an inheritance, obeyed. And he went out, not knowing whither he went. He didn't know where he was going. But by faith alone, he followed the lead of God. 9. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. 10. For he looked for a city which had foundations, whose builders and maker is God. 11. Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. 12. Therefore sprung there even of one, and him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in multitude, and as the sand which is by the seashore, innumerable. You cannot count the sand on the beaches. It is innumerable. 13. These all died in faith. They all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. We all are here temporarily. Our life here is short. 14. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. 15. And truly, if they had been mindful of the country from which they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned. 16. But by now they desire a better country, that is, in heavenly. Wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he had prepared for them a city. 17. By faith Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. And he that had received the promise, which was the child, offered up his only begotten son. By faith he did this, because he knew that God was able to give and return the child back to him. Okay? There's nothing God can't do. 18. Of whom it was said, that in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Okay, 19. Accounting that God was able to raise him up, even from the dead, from which also he received him in a figure. 20. By faith Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. 21. By faith Jacob, when he was dying, blessed both the sons of Joseph, and worshipped, leaning upon the top of his staff. 22. By faith Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel, and gave commandments concerning his bones. By faith Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandments. You should never fear man. God alone you should fear. By faith Moses, when he came to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. By faith, 25, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. By faith, 26, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith, 27, he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible, the Lord. 28, through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn shall touch them. Through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn shall touch him. 29. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians, assaying to do, were drowned. By faith 30. The walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. 31. By faith the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believed not, when she had received the spies with peace. 32. And what shall I more say? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon, and of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, of David also, and Samuel, and of the prophet. These are all heroes I'm naming. 33. Who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtain promises, stop the mouth of lions. 34. Quench the violence of fire, escape the edge of the sword. Out of weakness were made strong, wax valiant in fight, turn to flight the armies of the aliens. 35. Women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tormented, not accepting deliverance that they might obtain a better resurrection. 36. And others had trial of cruel mockery and scoring, yet moreover of bonds and imprisonment. 37. They were stoned, they were sown assembly, sown to cut you in pieces. Were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskin and goatskin, being destitute, afflicted, and tormented. 38. Of whom the world were not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and caves of the earth. King David spent some time in the cave hiding from King Saul. By faith, he knew where to hide. By faith, his spirit led him to safety. 39. And these all, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise. They all died without receiving their promise, but by faith they believed regardless. 40. By faith God, having provided some better things for us, that they without us shall not be made perfect. And these were all the heroes of the Old Testament, those that really display what it is to have faith in God. I thank you very much for sharing this reading with me this morning. I hope that you got something out of it, and I hope that you join us again in our next reading. In the meantime, may the peace of God be upon you, the protection of God surround you, and the will of God, whatever it may be, come from you. Until the next time, my name is Brenda Guerrero. Have a blessed day.